Okay, in previous video I configured some areas here. What I'm going to do is to take a look at database, and I'm not going to go deep into database details, but I'm going to show you that there are some commands that you can execute. So for example, on router 9, which is an ABR, I can check the database, and the link between router 9 and router 10 of course is going to be special. Let's go to router 10 first of all, and I'm going to say show ISIS neighbor or show CLNS neighbor, and you can see that I am neighbor with R9 and the type of a neighborship is L2. What I'm going to do is to check routing table on R10. So if I say show IP route, show IP route, you can see that all the routes that I have received is of type L2. So this means that we don't have anything such as a default route in R10 because the link is of type L2. I'm going to check the configuration on router 9 to see what kind of a configuration I have here. So if I say show run, and unfortunately I cannot type pipe here for some reason, the character set is not supported on secure CRT for me, of course. If I go down, you can see that under router ISIS I have L2 only routes. So what I'm going to do is to check the link between these two, and you can see that it doesn't say anything about the type of route here. So what I'm going to do is to change this. So let's go to here, and instead of saying level 2, I'm going to say level 1, level 2. And the same should be done on R10, of course. Let me see the running configuration. So if I just go down, you can see that it says level 2 only. So what I'm going to do is to go to configuration, and then I'm going to say level 1, level 2. So, or I can just say level 1 only because we have this option, as a matter of fact, level 1. So let's say that I'm going to accept level 1, level 2 for some reason here, and I'm going to commit this. And what I need to do is to say the link between these two, which is Ethernet 2, interface ETH2. And if I just show running configuration of ETH2, you can see that it doesn't say anything about the type of the link. What I'm going to say is IP router ISIS. And after that, not IP router ISIS, ISIS of course, only ISIS. And you can see that we have circuit type here. Circuit type is going to be level 1. That's it. Hit enter. I'm going to say commit. So the adjacency is going to be broken because I have not changed router 9. So if I just say do show IS CLNS neighbor, for now the neighborship is not there. So let's go back to R9 and change this. I'm going to say level 1, level 2, and under interface ETH2, I'm going to type ISIS circuit type is going to be level -1, and then I'm going to say commit. And as soon as I do that, the adjacency is going to reappear here. As you can see, R9 is now connected, but the type of the adjacency is L1. This means that if I say do show IP route on R10, now I am receiving only a default route from other areas, but I have full information about R9. And if I just check this one more time, R8 should be advertising something here because I need to see advertising 8888. Let me see if I have such thing. So if I just say show run interface loopback, it says that it is part of ISIS. This means that on R9 I can say IP route. I have 8888, but because this is an L2 route, I'm not just sending this to the other side. If I had said this is L1, L2, then I would be able to send this route to R10 as well. One of the reasons that I do not really configure the route between these two as L1, L2 is because I don't want to have two different databases in this router, and I don't really want to run it. But let's say for some reason I'm going to go to router 8 and router 9, and I'm going to change this a little bit. So on router 9, I changed this ISIS to L1, L2. Let's go to R8 and do the same thing. So I'm going to say configure terminal, router ISIS OcNOS, and I'm going to say IS type level 1, 2, and I'm going to change the link between this two as L1. So Ethernet 1 is going to be L1. Interface ETH1. ISIS circuit type is going to be level 1. And then I'm going to commit it. And this is going to, I guess, break the neighborship. CLNS neighborship. And between router 9 and router 10 now. Okay, the type is L1, so it hasn't broken the neighborship. So if I just check Ethernet 1 on router 9, do show run interface ETH1. It doesn't say anything about the type of neighborship, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to say ISIS circuit type is level -1. I'm going to commit it. Okay. So let's check to see what we have here. So if I just go back to R10 and check my routing table, now you can see that I have information about 8888. That is because this is inside my area. And the whole logic is I'm trying to be able to get to every part of my network. But for other parts of the network, what I want to have is a default route, and I'm going to receive it. Okay, so I have this. R9 and R8 of course have full information about other parts of the network because they receive full database here. But if I just go to R10 and say show ISIS database, you can see that database is not so long, and the information that I'm receiving is this. And based on the LSP ID, I can see what kind of LSPs I having here. Of course I need to check this again. Let's say that I am receiving some LSPs from R9. Let me see what is that. And the whole time, of course, on the right. Let's say that I'm going to check this one. Show ISIS database, and after that I'm going to say detail LSP ID is going to be this one. If I just go to privilege mode, that would be easier to check. Show ISIS database, detail, and then I'm going to say LSP ID is this one. So hit enter, and you can see that this LSP ID holds information about how I can reach to R9 and ISP1. And after that, of course, I can have some more information about level 2 or level 1. Okay, so I have this information on R10. Now what I want to do is to say, although this is level 1, but I'm going to leak some information into here. So what I'm going to do is to redistribute level 2 into level 1, which is a valid option in case you want to leak some of the routes inside here. What you need to do is to go to ISIS configuration on R9 here in my case, for example. And I'm going to say router ISIS OcNOS. And then I'm going to say redistribute. And I'm redistributing ISIS. And you can see that I can say level 2 into level 1. Hit enter and commit. Now let's see what we have on R10. Again, going back to R10, show IP route. Now you can see that I have a lot of routes here, almost every route that I have. And you can see that all of these are, as a matter of fact, marked as inter-area because I have received it from other areas, and these are L1 because they are inside my own area. Now for route leaking, if I just go to here and then check it, you can see that there is a distribute list that I can just configure here. Now the distribute list is kind of a route map. This is going to help you to leak only the necessary information into here. I'm not going to configure this right now. Later I'm going to show you when I'm speaking about security features, but this is quite possible that you are going to advertise only a few of these routes. That is because you really want to have, you don't really want to have suboptimal routing, and that is the reason that distribute list is going to be configured for you for specific routes that you want to change it. In this scenario, of course, this is not going to make any change for us because both of these ABRs are connected to only one router here, but in case each one of them were connected to another different area, then that would be a little different. This is what I'm going to do, and in one of the scenarios, of course, I'm going to configure one of these routers to connect to another one. Area 9 might be a good example of that. So let's just do this. What I'm going to do is to unlock this lab, and then I'm going to configure area 17 with a connection to here on Ethernet 4, or let's say Ethernet 5, because both of them I need to have the same link. And I'm going to edit this link a little bit so that it is a little more beautiful. So let's say that I'm going to say this is kind of a busier link, and the side is going to be like this, and this makes it a little more beautiful. So let's configure the interface. If I just go to ISP2, go to configuration mode, interface EAT5, IP address is going to be 10.2.17.2/24, IP router ISIS OcNOS. Hit enter and commit it. Do show IP interface brief. Okay, so we have the interface configured. It is up and up. The good thing about PNetLab and the Pro version of Evinge is you can hot plug the interfaces, and also you can do this on GNS3. So on R17, I'm going to say interface EAT5. IP address is going to be 10.2.17.17. And IP router ISIS OcNOS. Then I'm going to commit it. Then I'm going to ping 10.2.17.2. The ping goes through. Very good. So if I just say do show ISIS neighbors, do show IP ISIS neighbor, or CLNS neighbor, sorry. CLNS neighbor. Now you can see that I have adjacency with router, this is 2, ISP2 here. Very good. Now that I have done this, if I just check my database, I should have some LSPs from ISP2 as well. So do show ISIS database. Now you can see that from ISP2 I have received some LSPs. I can just check these LSPs, and you can see that these are level 2 LSPs. So if I just go with one of these, let's say for example this one, ISP2, this one, do show ISIS database. I'm going to say detail, and that's the LSP. So you can see that these are the links that are advertised from ISP2 in this LSP, and the first LSP, of course, the second one is 2.0 and then 3.0, so I can just check them as well. So this is 2.0, 0.0, that is, next one is 2.0. Sorry, I guess I should copy it from here. 0.2, not 2.0. So 0.2 and 0.3. So these are the metrics to different ISPs and also metric to other routers, but the actual information is in the first one, which is 0.0. And you can see these are the links that are advertised to us with the metric of 10. So let's say that I'm going to try to go from R18 to ISP1 here. So what is going to happen is this: router 18 is going to go to router 17, and then from there to ISP3 or ISP2. If I want to change these two, then I would need some kind of a traffic engineer. Let's say the simplest one is going to change the cost, or the best one is going to implement some tags and route labeling, and then from there I can just use traffic engineering. But let's say that this is going to go to ISP3 and from there directly to ISP1. But what I'm going to do is to say, no, I really want to go from R19 to here. And if I want to go from R19, then R19 needs to leak 1111 into R18. So R18 is going to have a better route, let's say a better match, and that is going to use R19 instead of R17. So if I just go to R18 here and say trace route 1111, you can see that it is going to take 17 as I expected. But let's go to router 19 and do something. I'm going to create an access list first of all. So let's go to here and I'm going to say IP access list, and from here I'm going to go with a standard access list, and let's say this is going to be leak 1 1 1 1 1. And under this, I'm going to say permit, and then I'm going to say permit host 1111. Hit enter, and then I'm going to use this under router. Let's commit this just to see if there is any problem. Router ISIS OcNOS. I'm going to say redistribute ISIS level 2 into level 1, and I'm going to say distribute list is going to be this one. Do I have a help? No. This is going to be distribute list, and hit enter. Okay, so if I just commit to configuration, if I say do show run, here I don't have pipe unfortunately. So this is the access list that I have created, and this is the redistribution using this distribute list. So what type of neighborship do I have on R18? If I just go to R18 and say show CLNS neighbor, you can see that I have L1 adjacency with R19 and 17. If I say show IP route, now I have 1111 as an inter area, and this is the only one that I have leaked. And as you can see, it is via router 18. Now if I try to trace route, you can see that it goes to trace route 1111. It goes to router 19, sorry. And from router 19, it goes to ISP3 and then gets to the destination. This means that by leaking this route, I have just enabled kind of a change in the route from a suboptimal route, maybe, for example, because the link between R17 and this ISP is not a good link, but now I'm using a better link to get to the destination.